Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
And the hall is packed up, the red carpet's rolled up, and we are finally over the hangover of the 35-mile walk. So
Yep, it's another Mr. Oscar's in the book. Mr. Oscar in the books.
Yep.
Time to move on to the rest of our year, I guess.
Yes, this is like the Daytona 500 of the year. You know, it kicks off. This is officially a new year for Drinking Alone with Friends podcast, as is tradition, of course.
Right.
Of course.
And this is the year where we're bringing you all new and exciting content. Ted's bringing old house beers. Chris is bringing stuff that's different
Stuff too.
Also, I'm there, so
Obert's there too.
It's a totally
Other
new year
things.
in the podcast for sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Yep.
And now we
year
have
of the podcast.
We have like a year now to go catch a whole bunch of Han Solos to stick them into carbonite.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of
We
like
gotta
Pokemon.
stock up. We gotta stock up.
Gotta stock up. So what have y'all been up to last week? I guess.
Well, I want to give a special shout out this week to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln for both being born in February and giving me a 3-day weekend. So that was nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had one of those as well. So yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah.
Very clutch of you.
Friends of the pod, those two.
Active listeners of the pod.
Yeah. Well, I can't confirm that Lincoln listens, but I've heard he's a fan.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite signed up for Patreon yet, but I think he's going to. He's right on the edge. So
Well, that's good because if he's going to be down, he'd be down for $5 a month. So
that's right. We don't need your George Washington money. Actually, we do. We do need your George Washington money too. Oh.
Thank you to all our patrons who give us Washingtons a month.
Yes. Thank you.
Now don't let it be, if you're not a subscriber, don't let it be 7 years ago until you decide to start giving us some money on the Patreon.
Yep, that's the past.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't wait 7 episodes to donate.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
So yeah, but this weekend I spent the weekend away and checked out a new, fun, exciting brewery. Went to a brew fest, and I'm going to get into all that once we get to my beer review. So this is a little sneak peek right here.
Nice.
But Todd, how about you? How did you celebrate your President's Day?
Just kind of hung out. I went over and visited some friends and celebrated a 2-year-old's birthday. Friend of the pod, Nick and Larissa. Their child turned 2. Other than that, it was also Valentine's Day weekend, so we just kind of sat around and hung out and had fun.
Oh, yeah. 2020's year of the soundboard, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't realize that you had the soundboard there, Chris.
It's the only sound I have, though.
So one last thing that that I did do this past weekend was Jenna, the brew locker, finally sent me beer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure she's gonna love that one. She sent me beer because I bitched and moaned about it so much on this podcast. So on Sunday I did a Instagram live where I unboxed the beer, and I have my house also caught on fire that day, so that was also a bonus. Right in the middle of the Instagram live.
I got to go back and watch this.
Oh, you missed it? Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Update: my house has not officially burned down, but there was a fire. A pizza
Unofficially,
box,
though.
a pizza box caught fire, and there were flames. And I had to put water. I had to, basically run part of my pizza underneath water to put out the fire in the box.
How did you catch a pizza box on fire?
Well, so when you want to keep something warm, you just kind of shove it in the oven. Like I took all the plastic out of the box, and I just kind of put the box in the oven.
Turn it to 700.
I put it to 300.
Okay.
And that it caught fire. I mean, it is what it is.
So okay. So but after you put out the fire.
Yep. I I went on in the middle of the Instagram Live, just an FYI. I put out the fire. Then came back to the Instagram Live and continued to unbox the beer that Jenna had sent me. And
Yes.
so I made a poll, and by poll, I mean I asked the people who were watching me on Instagram Live what beer I should drink on this week's podcast from Jenna's box. And Jenna and X That Darn Cat both said that I should be bringing this beer that I brought to the podcast. And so with that, I'm going to start the beer reviews if you guys are cool with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like how we have
Do it up.
We have one sound drop.
That's it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Chris couldn't make it this week, so we just replaced him by conveniently timed "Oh yes."
So I'm bringing to the podcast Oddside Brewing Company's Bean Flicker. It's a coffee blonde ale. And in the words of Kat, it'll make me wish that I could flick the bean, or it'll make me want to flick the bean that I wish I had.
Yep.
The description on the can is, sure to surprise your palate, this beer is an extremely smooth, sessionable blonde ale with notes of vanilla and coffee, light, crisp, and refreshing.
Very cool. Can I see the can?
Of course.
Oh, it's like all hot pink and stuff on the top and bottom.
Yeah, it is hot pink. It's got kind of I think it's a female like coffee tree on it.
It's a woman wearing a tree headdress with throwing coffee beans in the air.
Yeah, but
a silhouette.
She's got like branches coming out of her fingertips too.
Yeah, it's because she's a tree.
So
it's a face carved into a tree. No, I don't know. It's a silhouette. It's supposed to be half person. It's like a mermaid, but for trees.
There you go. It's like a mermaid, but for trees.
Someone really likes coffee.
It's a tree maid.
If you're curious to know what it looks like, head on over to the Instagram.
Arbor maid.
It'll be posted, around the time you're listening to this. So head over there and go take a look. On the nose, it is definitely smells like coffee. As you guys can see, it is, it's a blonde ale. You can see through it. It's probably about a 12 on the SRM scale. All I get is coffee on the nose, though. And, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because it's a blonde, so you don't really get a lot of flavor notes on the nose from blonde ales, but let's taste it and try it out.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, we've replaced Chris with the Kool-Aid Man.
Hey, listen, I'm using this soundboard.
The flavor is, there's definitely some hints of coffee, a little bit of sweetness. It's very light and refreshing, as the can says. I get a very little bit of vanilla. That's probably what's causing some of the sweetness. The coffee's pretty good, though. It kind of tastes like you're drinking like a blonde coffee roast from like Starbucks a little bit.
Okay.
But take that flavor and like tone it down a lot and just make it like really like subtle. It's a solid beer. Yeah, I like this. This makes me wish I could flick the bean that I wish I had. Overall, solid, really solid. I would recommend people going out and trying to find this. Not a lot of hop notes on here. Like I said, the vanilla is kind of there, kind of not. But yeah, definitely this would be really good on like a summer day if you were like day drinking for a concert or a baseball game or a football game or something where you're outside, just tailgating. This would be perfect for that type of day, especially in the morning when you want to get your coffee in, but at the same time you also want to start getting a little bit drunk. This would be perfect.
Okay, so it's for that. It's like for like a 1:00 kickoff football game.
Oh, it'd be perfect for that. If you were out there at like
you're tailgating at like 10:30, 11.
Yeah, if
right.
you're out there at 10:30, 11, just wanting to get the day started a little bit, you already finished your Dunkin' Donuts coffee. This is the perfect thing to pull right out of the cooler afterwards.
But it's also like an early season game. Like it's still hot out.
Oh yeah, because it's a blonde, so it's definitely it's refreshing. It can cool you down. So opening day of UConn football, this is the perfect thing that you want to drink at like 11 a.m.
when your hopes for the season are at their peak.
Right. Right. You don't start bringing out the 8 or 9% ABV beers until after.
So at least the second quarter.
Correct.
Yeah.
Until after
Right.
they've they're down 21-0 in the first quarter. The ABV on this beer, just an FYI, because we skipped over that part, is 4.5%. So it's definitely very crushable. Equivalent to that of a Bud Light. Delicious. I would say this even though I am the Bud Light tasting champion, this definitely has a lot more flavor than a Bud Light. I know that's sacrilege for me to say, out loud, but I would say that this beer is probably, I'm going to give it a 4.25 on the current Untappd scale, but it'd probably be more of like a 4.42 on the new Untappd scale.
Really?
The new Untappd scale goes down to the hundredths
Look,
now?
This is the new, we're in 2020, man.
It's the new one.
Okay.
Be the change that you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
So even
that's really high.
4.42, you don't round up to 4.5.
No, it's got to be above the 4.5, man.
It truncates. He's only coming down. No, if I had a beer that I thought was a 4.42, I would round to 4.5.
So would I.
Tud is a man of integrity with his own standards, so I'm not going to question his judgment here.
Yeah, I like it.
But that's really high.
I like it.
That
I
is
also,
very high.
Part of me, and maybe part of my love for this beer is I haven't been really drinking coffee over the past month and a half. It's just something that I haven't been doing, because my body just doesn't seem to like coffee at the moment. And so I think this is really scratching that itch too, that of just, a coffee flavor, because I can't drink it. So I'm probably a little bit more biased towards this too, because I'm like, oh, look, it's something coffee flavored that I can drink that's light and refreshing, and is not a 9.5% stout.
Coffee is awesome.
It is.
So you say 4.42. What do you think the Untappediverse thinks of this beer?
4.13.
Swing and a very large miss, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. So 35,000 check-ins. So this is a big one. But it's only a 3.8.
Even?
Even. Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, I feel like once you reach that critical mass of that many ratings, I feel like everything ends up in that 3.75 to 4.0 territory.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like a pretty standard good beer, though. I'll keep my eye out for it.
Yeah, you probably have the best chance out of all of us of finding it.
Where is Oddside from?
Oddside is brewed out of Grand Haven, Michigan.
Yeah, I think you're closer to Michigan than me, but you never know. Yeah, I might be able to find.
But I feel like we don't get as much Michigan beer in Connecticut as we probably should, given that we're closer than you are.
Right. Well, I was just telling you, we just finally got some Illinois beer of Goose Island, within the last year.
That is true. I didn't,
Yeah.
I know it's difficult for Anheuser-Busch to, ship beer out to you guys, but.
Yeah. But anyway, I will keep my eyes peeled. Thank you. Thank you, Ted.
Yeah. And, again, special thanks to Jenna. Thank you for sending it to me. I also did a little bow as I said that again. So thanks, Jenna. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
So with that, who is going to drink next?
So I'll go next, and I'm actually keeping it in the same state. How about that?
Are you drinking a Jenna beer too?
Good old Mitten beers.
Mitten beers tonight. Wait, no, I am not.
MO is not Michigan.
I thought this was out of Michigan, but it is not. It's out of Cleveland, Ohio. Huh? I don't know. Okay, so apparently read the bottle before you start talking.
One mitten and one pocket.
There you go. See? But I'm drinking Great Lakes Brewing Company's Blackout Stout.
Are they the pocket?
No, but they look like a pocket. I don't know. What would you say the shape of Ohio is?
Ohio shaped?
You gotta get more creative.
No, that's all he's got. What is Ohio shaped like? Ohio?
They're an Ohio shaped Ohio.
So tell us about this beer.
Hold on. Gotta pour it.
Did he actually get it like a real good pour?
Hey, yeah, look at that. Celebration. Celebrate!
This must be a flat beer.
I opened it 10 days ago. So this is a Russian Imperial Stout from Great Lakes Brewing, and it's named the Blackout Stout because it commemorates the infamous 2003 blackout that briefly left some 55 million people utterly unplugged. So
interesting. I can see with a name like Great Lakes Brewery why you thought Michigan, because it does touch a couple of those guys.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I just think Great Lakes synonymous with Michigan. I don't know why. Maybe because there is like a Lake Michigan, but
yeah,
that's probably why. If there was a Lake Ohio, I probably wouldn't have known. But
is this the barrel aged or the non-barrel aged version?
This is the non-barrel aged version.
Okay.
So, but I was at the Total Wine, and I was looking for something to complete my 6-pack, and this guy's like, "Oh man, we just got this in," and like went across the store and like picked one out for me, and I was like, "Well, I kind of gotta take it now." I mean, on top of it, it's a Imperial Stout, and I like Imperial Stouts. So
yeah.
Anyways, like you would imagine, a billion SRM, very very dark. The head was not very. It wasn't like super frothy, and now it's like almost all dissipated already. Probably why I was able to pour it like a normal human being. So. And I mean, it smells like an Imperial Stout. It's got like nice roasted notes on it. Nothing too crazy. Let's see how this bad boy drinks.
I remember I was canoeing in the middle of nowhere in Canada during the 2003 blackout.
Oh yeah.
I had never even heard about it till it was over.
Wait, how old were you? You were in Canada canoeing?
with Boy Scouts.
Oh, I was like, weren't you like 12?
Let me see. I blew out my knee 2002, 2003, something like that.
So you were like 13 then,
Yeah,
or 14.
Yeah.
14. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's before sophomore year.
Yep. Anyways, so it's a very solid beer. It is not. Man, it's not overly sweet. There's not a lot of sweet notes to it. Not that I'd expect that too much from a Russian Imperial Stout. It does have a good bitter kick to it, and that's because I saw the label. It's got 50 IBUs, which I know is kind of high for a stout.
Yeah, for Russian Imperial, it's definitely on the higher end, I feel like.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's based on what I think. So
me channeling my inner Todd Cleo, I feel like you're kind of underwhelmed by this beer. It just seems like it's just a regular, like you're having a hard time differentiating it between any other Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah, I mean it's 9.9% alcohol. I can taste. I mean, I can tell that there's a decent amount of alcohol in it. It's not bad by any means. It's just there's not a lot in there that like wows me. You know, like I'm not even getting like hints of coffee or chocolate or anything. It's just like a solid Russian Imperial Stout that's slightly bitter in the middle. So let me see. I'm gonna try and give it one more go round. See if I can't get it.
Remember, you got to taste it 3 times to get the full adjustment.
No, I mean, I'm not really getting much. I'm getting a lot of like roasted malts. I'm getting a decent amount of bitterness, and other than that, it's just like, I mean, it's a good stout. It's one of those stouts that maybe the barrel aged version would have added a little bit something that would have pushed it into like the 4.25 territory. But this one is
Sounds like the guy at Total Wine was just trying to get rid of him. That's why he ran across the store for
it. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's a cool label on the bottle. It's I like the way the bottle looks, and the beer's nice and dark and black. I don't know. It's a good beer, just not my favorite beer. And not to mention, you know how some stouts, like I like my stouts, they're almost like velvety. You know?
Yeah, like thick and silky.
Right. This isn't quite like that. So it's a little bit more thin, for lack of a better term. So again, not a bad beer, but just I wish there was like a little bit something else.
You want it to be more maple syrup than water.
Yeah. So that being said, I'm gonna give this a 3.5, which I think is gonna be crazy low compared to Untapped. So I think Untapped is gonna be a 4.13.
Wow.
So out of 63,000 check-ins.
Oh, never mind.
The Untapped universe has deemed that you are still way out of whack.
Oh, okay. All right.
It is a 3.98.
Okay. Yeah. See, I knew it. I just knew it. I was going back and forth. Like, I was probably like a 3, maybe 6. Or, I was thinking between 3.5 and 3.7, but then I hear Tud, I can't go higher if blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to try and bring it down.
You have your own rules.
No, I know.
Yeah, you don't have to live by the Tud rules here.
No, the Tud rules are the way the world should work, right?
If we all lived by the Tud rules, the world would be a happy place.
No. So, I mean, I can see how people would like this beer. I mean, it isn't a bad beer. I just think that a beer like this, yeah, it's just maybe I built it up in my head too much. Maybe that's what it is. I can't place it, but I've had even better just regular Russian Imperial stouts. Like, what is it? The Ex Machina from Relic.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
That's back east though, I think.
Is it back east?
Yeah.
You might be right. But anyways, that one is just a Russian Imperial Stout, and that's heads better.
Well, you even had the Old Rasputin a few episodes ago, and that was just a standard Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah, so.
I really appreciate the fact that even though you reviewed a beer that you thought was mediocre, you gave us an alternative one to go and try and find. So
there you go.
It's a service for our listeners there.
This is that's the new thing for season 3.
Season 2, 3.
Whatever season we're on.
Yeah.
The season one was kind of like, it was only like 12 episodes because that's
right. It was the pilot season basically.
All right. So, Obert, take it away. Finish up these drink reviews for tonight.
All right. So I'm very excited for today's beer. I have a beer from the place I was hanging out all weekend, which is Phillipsburg, Montana. This is from the Phillipsburg Brewing Company. It's their Five Phantoms. It's a pumpkin spice barley wine.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was in Peaburg this weekend. They had a brew fest. It's in the middle of the state, so just a quick 3.5 hour jaunt from Whitefish down.
Just a quick 3.5 hours. No big deal.
Yeah. It's funny because I was like, only in Montana can you drive 3.5 hours to end up at a brew fest. Still run into a bunch of people there. And the people who were meeting us from the other side of the state, they recognized the band. Like, they're like, oh, this is the band from our hometown. They were all like, it was 4 dudes all in their 60s, and their band name was The Fossils, and they were really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The Brewfest was in like an old fire station, and they had, I want to say, about like a dozen or so breweries from around the state, and it was a fundraiser for their ice rink in Phillipsburg. But I tried some really good stuff there. I found a new brewery I want to get more stuff from called I think Smelter City out of Anaconda. They had a really good guava sour that I enjoyed.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I was able to try some other Montana breweries. The Bitter Roots Winter Ale was a pleasant surprise. I like that one. They always put out some good stuff. And representing back home, they had the Flathead Lake Brewing Company with their Moonlight Sour. That's I think their best beer. It's a good solid sour. I don't bring them on the podcast that often, but so just some solid offerings from all around the state. I'm working my way towards my share of our check-ins, guys. So
good.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you keep on keeping it up, though.
Right.
I know. It's tough. Those brewfests don't happen all that often, so I gotta make the most of it when I can go.
You can always fly back for the Rising Pint in May.
Well, talk about that later. No. But in Phillipsburg, there's a couple of highlights. One of which is the very cool brewery. I posted a picture of it on our Instagram on Sunday.
Yeah, those were some awesome pictures, by the way. It looked so cool.
Yeah, some cool beers.
It looked kind of like a different country. Yeah,
the buildings are all painted like very cool, funky colors. I don't know. It reminds me of like a town in like Austria or something. Just like very much a Hamlet kind of feel, if that makes sense. But yeah, they have, you can find their beer most places around the state. And when I went in to pick out this beer, they had three bottles to go. I was tempted to go for the barrel-aged Imperial Stout, but the bourbon barrel-aged stout. But we have so many of those on the podcast, I thought that going with a pumpkin spice beer instead might be something a little more unique. And even though this says it's bottle 956 of 999, they told me this was the last bottle they had. And then they took the display bottle off the shelf. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's got to be good if I'm getting the last one.
Nice.
I
Take that, everybody else.
I can't believe they sold them out of order.
No, well, 956 is written in marker and 999 is printed as part of the label. So my guess is they just didn't have, enough beer to fill up 999 bottles. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's my theory.
So is this one that you had at the brewery or no, not yet?
This is not. I have not had this one yet.
Cool.
But all of their beers inspired me or left me thinking that this was going to be a pretty tasty one.
Pumpkin spice barley wine. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm curious
right?
to know how the flavors, like that barley wine flavor with pumpkin is probably going to be a cool mix, I would have to imagine.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And for a barley wine, this weighs in only at 8.7%.
Oh,
ABV.
That's low.
Yeah. And actually, sneak ahead and read a little passage from the label. It says, coming in at the low end of barley wines at 8.7% ABV, Five Phantoms is ready to drink right now, but still big enough to age beautifully for several years in your fridge or cellar. Well, I didn't wait.
Nope.
Yeah. It is, however, the Great American Beer Festival bronze medal winner in 2016, 17, and 18 for pumpkin spice beer.
Well, fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But man, that's a lot of talking and not a lot of drinking. So
yeah,
here we go.
parched. See, I love myself a good barley wine, so I'm very curious how this is going to go.
See, and I am not a barley wine person at all.
But you're a big pumpkin guy.
I am a
Right.
big pumpkin. See, this is where I'd be torn. I'd be like, do I try the barley wine because it's pumpkin, or do I not try the pumpkin because it's barley wine?
I gotta say, this is definitely a Tud beer.
Okay.
I think after drinking alone with you for so long now, I have a pretty good idea of your likes and dislikes, and I think that this would be, and I also know you have a very high standard of pumpkin beers.
I do.
So I'm not gonna say this would be the best pumpkin beer you ever drank, because I know you have a couple of ones that hold a special place in your heart. But this is a really good blend of those stronger barley wine flavors while maintaining a good amount of pumpkin. This is kind of reminds me of what are some of the breweries that make like a double smash pumpkin, or like what are they?
Like Southern Tier.
Yeah, they have their Pump King,
Yeah.
right? And then they
Yeah.
have, what's the stronger one?
Warlock.
Yeah, so this is like
Which
a
is
stronger barley wine,
The stout. And then
or stronger pumpkin bite.
Then there's
beer.
Pumpkin Head by Shipyard.
Right. And their stronger one is, oh, no, I'm talking,
Head,
okay.
headless,
Pumpkin torso.
the headless pumpkin? I don't know.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, like, on the scale of pumpkin beers, this is one of the, like, a more stronger one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but not overpowering in the pumpkin flavor. I'm a big fan. It's got a solid amber color. And, as we talked about on the podcast, pumpkin season's over after Thanksgiving.
Well, I was going to say, isn't it too late to be drinking a pumpkin beer? Like, you're
Oh,
breaking
no.
all the rules.
I am breaking all the rules.
It's like wearing white after Labor Day. You're just, like, ruining it.
But this is coming from a guy who just got his bean flicked in February. So I think we're all out of the right season, all on the wrong seasons tonight.
I guess there's a first time for everything, Obert.
That's true. That's true. So if I'm going to try and describe the flavor of this beer, I would say it's, again, your traditional pumpkin, nutmeg, vanilla, everything that you would expect to find in your regular New England pumpkin beers that we have all over the place. But layered underneath that, and definitely underneath is more subtle flavors. You get that almost, not spiciness isn't the right word, but you get that barley wine burn, maybe? I don't know. It's a little bit spicy, I think is the best word I can come up with it for how I would describe the barley wine flavor. But the layering together works well. I think I can see why it has placed so many times in the Great American Beer Festival. And it even says here that more recently they won the U.S. Open Beer Championship gold medal in 18 and bronze in 19 for this beer. So I don't know what the U.S. Open Beer Championship is.
Never heard of it before.
Maybe we should go and find out.
There we go.
This is going to be because, again, maybe it's just because it's been a long time since I've had, it's been a long time since you've had coffee. It's been a long time since I've had a pumpkin beer. So this is going to earn a 4.25 from me, which is strong praises for this beer.
Yeah, wow. That's very high.
And I think the Untapped is going to come in over 4 as well. I want to say this is going to be like a 407.
So I found it here on Untapped, and out of just 161 check-ins, the average rating is a 4.11. So very, very solid.
Pretty
average.
close. Yeah. Yeah. For pumpkin beers, you can't find many great ones in Montana, and this is probably the best Montana pumpkin I've ever had.
Right. Yeah. You've our last 2 pumpkin episodes, you've had issues finding.
It was a struggle. That's right. Because, I did one from Utah, and I did one from Elysian, out of Seattle. But okay, even though it was a couple of months late, I found one.
There you go. Well, cool.
I don't know if I'm willing to make the 3.5 hour drive for the podcast next October, but we'll find out.
Just
you said it was a short little drive, so I mean, just hop on over there, grab Chris and myself a bottle as well.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Oh, the mail's escaping.
The mail monster.
It's a paper avalanche.
Oh, yeah.
It's mail time.
Mail time. So we have a sizable backlog of mail. Apologize for that, everybody. So we're going to try and go through and hit up as many of these as possible. So, we're going to just hop right to it.
That's right. It's been a while since we've done one of these segments, so
and
we've just been busy.
Yeah, we've been busy, Mr. Oscar, all this stuff, and
Yeah.
the holidays and everything like that, and we'll get like 1 or 2 emails, and then we won't get any, and then we'll get a bunch more. I don't know. Anywho, we're gonna get caught up today.
Cool.
So first one comes from friend, co-host, future mom of the pod, Jenna. And
That's are you saying that we're going to have a baby on as a co-host?
I just assumed she was going to adopt us all.
Oh, okay. That's how it works.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she'll have to support us financially.
Yes.
So congratulations. Well, would she be grandma? Because CJ, I'll have to think.
We'll find out. I don't know.
I hope she's
Jenna, write in.
I hope she's
Yeah.
subtly
Let
a
us know if you want to be the
millionaire,
grandma of the pod.
'cause supporting our drinking habit is not cheap, Jenna. So congratulations
No, I
on
know.
picking up that tab.
Yeah, we can't even do it, so we need someone else to do it for us. So this one dates back quite a bit, but she says, "Hello, Popcorn and friends, I guess." So shout out to Popcorn.
But in case you
while
didn't know, that's
listening
your
to
dog.
Episode 84, which we haven't reached yet, so she's traveling back in time. Hearing your discussion of Pliny the Elder and Younger, she says, "I realize that I'm probably in the minority. It's not that great! Exclamation point. It's too hoppy, too bitter, and just kind of boring." Shrugging emoji.
That was a good shrugging emoji. Yeah.
I had the Elder last year in Philly, and I did give it a 3.5 on the Untapped scale. It was just mediocre to me. Cheers, friends. So that dates.
That's another one for Pliny being overrated.
Yeah.
Now, in Pliny's defense, Jenna is not an IPA fan.
Right, and
That's
especially
true.
like the ones that are earthy and things like that. I know she's not a big fan of. So, but yeah, very interesting. I've yet to have Pliny, either one of them. So I will hold
So
my.
you just have to imagine how okay it is.
It's
It's in the running next year for world's okayest beer.
There we go. Oh man. Okayest beer of 2021. So next up we have another older one, but this is from friend of the pod, Erin. She writes in, she just says, "Thought these looked interesting," and they're brew candy. So
Brew candy?
yeah, they look like little
Interesting.
gummies, like gummy beer tasty things. And they have a hoppy IPA, roasty stout, and honey ale. It's made for I guess they're like chewies that taste like those things. So
Quick tangent.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't tell you guys about Phillipsburg is they have the world's greatest candy shop.
Did they have brew candy there?
They probably did. I don't make a habit of going to candy stores, but this place had everything. They had some really weird stuff. Like they have black licorice with salt on it.
I accidentally ordered them.
Okay.
It said buy now with 1 click, and I didn't really think it was going to work. But...
Wait, what do you mean 1 click? Oh, okay.
I was like, certainly there's got to be more clicks.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
All right,
look at that. 1 click.
Chris struggles with numbers. Chris, I'm going to let you know. One is a single digit.
It's got to mean one after this first click. Not the first click is 0, and then you get the 1 click.
It's 1 click, but it's really Chris was expecting 5.
Yeah,
I thought at least 2. Anyways, so I'll let you know what they taste like.
Episode
Okay.
title: Chris learns that 1 click means 1 click.
1 click, gotta be 2 clicks.
Chris, that's how you can secretly buy the computer you want to buy. Just be like, Dana, I thought it was going to be 2 clicks.
I thought it was 2 clicks. What do you want me to do?
I thought I had an extra click.
All right, sorry. Continue.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, they had every single Jelly Belly flavor, and I got a bunch of those. They had gummies. They have gummy worms. They had gummy snakes.
Whoa.
And
They're like really big gummy worms?
yeah, I could jump rope with this thing, practically. It's just a really long gummy worm.
Please tell me that you bought it.
I did buy one, yeah. And one is all you need, I think. I'm going to work on this gummy snake for a little bit.
You've never seen me devour gummy creatures.
Yeah.
Now, is it a sour gummy snake or a normal gummy snake?
OG, not non-sour. I did get some sour ones as well, but
disappointing.
Not the snake.
Sour gummy snake is the way to go.
Yeah, see, I was talking to somebody, and that's very interesting you bring this up, because I asked, do you like gummy bears or gummy worms? And they said sweet or sour. And I was like, it didn't matter to me. She says, I like gummy bears sweet, gummy worms sour.
Yes.
So,
okay.
I don't know. Apparently it's a thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gummy worm, both sweet or sour, and I like them both depending on the mood. Yeah,
I'm almost solely gummy bear.
Yeah, Todd.
I like gummy bear sweet and gummy worm sour. I don't really eat either of them, but if I was going to go with, if I had to make a choice, that's how I would do it. Sour gummy worms. I don't think I've ever had a sour gummy bear, but sour gummy worms are the way to go.
Nice, but so this place had jalapeno pepper candies.
Oh.
They were like gummies that were spicy.
That sounds good.
It was weird.
It does sound weird.
They had lots of fudge and chocolate and stuff as well. I gotta say, if you're ever trying to drive, make a road trip, and you're going between Yellowstone and Glacier, right? It's an all day drive. I would say get off the highway, go through Phillipsburg instead of the way that the GPS is going to take you. Stop at the brewery, stop at the candy shop, and you'll make the rest of your vacation right there with the beer and the candy you buy.
Good to know.
But sorry, I know where this is mid-mailbag.
No, you're good.
And somehow you clicked on a link in a physical letter and bought something. So,
well, yeah, no.
He typed it into the browser.
He's trying out that new HoloLens by Microsoft.
The URL in her note.
And you typed it in.
And I typed it in. That's how it worked. Yeah.
And you hit enter, and that counted as the click.
That's the first click. The second click was when I clicked on order with one click.
Surely Amazon is lying to me with this button that says one click.
This is a bullshit, I tell you. But okay.
Can you return it back to Amazon and be like, I thought there were more clicks?
I thought there was. Listen, my hands are tied. My hands are tied on this one. All right. So next up, we actually have Mom of the Pod writing in. This is talking about Christmas traditions. So we weren't lying when we said we were behind, right? And this was, I believe, remind me, Ted, you used to have ravioli, but then we didn't have ravioli, right?
Correct.
Okay, so
now we just have lasagna.
So, my dear son, I did not take the easy way out. If you would like to continue the ravioli tradition, you can come over the weekend before Christmas next year and help. It takes a village, son. There was always 2 to 3 people helping back in the day. So, you burnt. And she also says you also forgot the tradition of scoring an extra present Christmas morning. So,
oh yeah,
what is that?
So my parents have this ornament that's a pickle, like legit, like a green pickle. And what they do is they hide it in the tree Christmas morning, and then so me and my brother have to have like a wrestle fight out in front of the Christmas tree about who can find the pickle first. And whoever finds the pickle first gets an extra gift.
So is it like a I Spy Where's Waldo thing, or is it like a test of physical dominance?
Oh no, you must have the pickle in your hand. So it's not like, oh, it's right there and point at it. It's like you have to, if you point at it, you're the sucker because the other one is going to attempt to grab it before you can.
That sounds like a traumatic Christmas for Brad happened 1 or 2 times.
It used to be
you point at it like a loser who's the sucker.
Like a sucker. So, okay, what's your record in pickle Christmas?
I think we're probably about tied.
Oh, okay, all right. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, what my parents would do is they would put it really low to the ground for a long time. So like Brad had like the advantage because like he's short and
line of sight.
Yeah, right. And now he's like my height. So now we're kind of more evenly matched. But yeah, I think we're kind of almost tied.
Who won last year?
Huh.
I did.
Interesting.
Okay. And so what do you get? A pickle? A non-ornament pickle?
Yeah, you get a pickle. No, it's usually like an Amazon gift card or like a gas card or something like that.
Oh, that's cool. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just causes a lot of fun and, wrestling. Exactly. People.
That's how I celebrate my Christmas.
It's kind of like a feat of strength from Festivus, just on Christmas Day.
Cool. There you go. More Christmas traditions.
Christmas in February.
Yeah, Christmas in February. Perfect. Next up, we got actually, as we know now, Mr. Oscar winner Stephen King writing in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I hope that this didn't influence the judges because he knew he was in the running.
No, I don't think so. He said, and I don't remember the context of where this came from, so I apologize, but hello, DAWF podcast. Unfortunately, due to one of your hosts mocking my movies, I will not be able to provide the shout out for the entire podcast. Shout out in his next book.
This is because we called him out for not shouting us out in his book.
Okay. I can, however, see if I can fit in shouting out Ober and Chris and their dedicated email address, which was Chris and Ober at dawfpodcast.com/gmail. And unfortunately, Steven, this is why you won the Achievement Award.
Yeah, right?
Because it's gmail.com, Gmail or something like that.com.
Like, yeah. Sending people to the wrong email address. Jeez.
Right. Sincerely, Stephen King. P.S. Tud, you're still a little bitch. So, had to get you in there. So
yeah.
That's okay. He will always be an Achievement Award winner.
Blevin Lifetime Achievement Award winner.
He can go to his grave knowing that he was considered worse than Blevin.
Right. So next is brother of the pod, Brad, writing in real quick. Talking about Lupoletto Brewing when Tud the malt picked on stilts. he says Tud was not told it was malts. He was told it was hops. He just decided on his own accord that it was malt. LOL. So there it is. There's the truth behind the story.
I still think it was malt.
We got a first-hand witness now.
Right,
So.
I know. We got the proof. So next up is another Mr. Oscar Award winner, Brandon, aka Craft Handler. You know, he was in the in memoriam section of,
right.
of Mr. Oscar.
The very much alive Instagram friends of ours.
Insta follower of the year.
That's what it was. Right.
There you go. He says, "Hey guys, a few things I wanted to drop in the mailbag. First off, I recently got a Connecticut, Vermont beer box in the mail from a friend and wanted to share my ratings with y'all since you probably have had them. And this was.
Ooh, I like this outside perspective. From
right, exactly.
Foreigner on Connecticut beer. Okay.
So she's he had 3 of them already. So beers open from the box. Foley Brothers Brewing Prospect Double IPA.
It's pretty good.
3.75 out of 5. Single cut Bruce Smith's Jenny Said, which he gave a 4 out of 5.
I don't think I've had that one.
I don't think I have either. But
Jenny.
single cut, I love single cut though. They're always solid.
Yeah, they're just like $25 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, wow. They ain't cheap. And then Beard Brewing, You Like a de Juice.
Oh, I had one of those this weekend.
Which he gave a 4.25 out of 5. So, he still has the Lawson Sip of Sunshine, Kent Falls All Alone with Everywhere to Go, and the Thomas Hooker #NoFilter that he still hasn't had as of this email, which is a couple weeks old.
Well, hopefully he's had them by now because you want to drink those guys fresh.
And those are 3 solid beers too.
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping that he's had them by now too. Hey, Brandon, write in. Give us the rest of your ratings because we're curious.
That follow-up email.
Right. Secondly, he says he's Team Obert on the Great Cooler Scandal of 2020.
We haven't really got into this, but there's been quite a debate going back and forth on the Discord.
Oh, yes, there has been. And actually, there's another email we'll get to later. I mean, regular mail. But at least it wasn't folders, ? Which I still, to this day, think it was a great that should have won Handle of the Year, Mr. Oscar. It says, also, Tud, I'm sending a beer your way once it gets here from the first trade. Cheers, guys. So
cool.
Beer
Cheers,
on the way.
Brandon.
Well, beer gonna be on the way. So
I like
cool.
Free beer.
That's awesome. I'm glad that, number one, I like to think, and this might not be true, I like to think that he sought out this trade after listening to this podcast.
I imagine that is probably true.
There might be some truth to it. Like, I mean, we talk about hashtag no filter and Sip of Sunshine quite a bit. So the next one, it comes in from Sal, and he sent in a fun article about Unknown Brewery, which is down here in Charlotte, to release a Russian Roulette Imperial Stout. Did you guys read that article?
No,
No.
I haven't heard about this.
So it's a 4-pack of an Imperial Stout that's made with chili peppers, right?
Oh, you were telling us about this.
3 of the 4 are made with, normal peppers, and the 4th one is made with the Carolina Reaper pepper. And apparently it's very, very hot. So literally you have each 4-pack will have 3 normal ones and 1 of the really, really hot one. So you're playing Russian roulette whenever you go to grab a beer from the 4-pack, which is kind of awesome.
Sounds great to have that beer with 3 friends around.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I wish it, if I can find some, what I'll do, I'll send one to like Jordan or something like that, and we'll each have one and see who gets the hot one. If I can find it.
I was going
I'll
to say, I'm surprised you haven't already sought this out.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I have an unknown beer in my fridge right now from you.
Yeah, I saw Unknown Beer today, but I just haven't made it down to the brewery. So I'll be on the lookout, and we'll get something set up for that one. That would be fun if we can find it.
Yeah.
And then the last one for today is from wife of the pod, Dana, also about the cooler scandal of 2020, who sent a picture of how compact the cooler folds up into.
All right, hang on. Let me pass the mailbag over here. I got to take a look at this picture.
Okay.
It was quite the nice picture.
Right.
Yeah, I will admit that's smaller than I thought it was going to be.
See, there you go. First wife of the pod, she says. So it's definitely smaller than what we thought it was going to be, or what they thought it was going to be. So, and it holds a full 6-pack. You don't have to worry, man. And I don't know, it's perfect. You want to, like I said in my handle, you're going over a friend's house. You don't need to have that many beers. Boom, throw that thing together.
Yeah, my argument still stands that until these guys try the cooler, they have no room to provide an opinion.
I was just going to say, this is broken down into 2 camps, okay? You're either one of these 2 groups. 1, you have this cooler and you love it. Or 2, you don't have this cooler, you don't want this cooler, you don't think you need it. No one so far has come down and said, yeah, I used it and it was all right, and I don't recommend it.
Correct.
That is very true.
Everybody who's used it loves it.
Right. And everybody who has said that they don't want to use it has made it clear that they don't want it for a reason.
Oh man!
But if you want more insight onto this great debate happening, you got to head over to our Discord channel, which we always put a link in the show notes too. But there's a lot of fun back and forth over there going on. So you can talk to us, talk to some of the other fans. We got a good little community bubbling up in there. So it's just another fun spot to talk about your favorite podcast.
Yeah. Exactly. So there we go. We're caught up. We're up to date.
Let's shove that mail back in the archive room.
Push. Close that door.
Yes. It's all done. But thank you. Apologize it took us so long, but we got there. If you have anything else, if you want to weigh in on Cooler Gate 2020, then please do send it over dawfpodcast@gmail.com. And hopefully we can do a few more in the upcoming weeks. So
very cool. So I think with that, it's time that we take down our frosty mug of wisdom, fill it up with advice, tips, products we like, websites we think are cool, friends we like. I don't know, stuff, coolers, etc. And it's got 3 handles. Did I mention the 3 handles and how the frosty the mug is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's full of wisdomy wisdom.
Right. So I'm going to start filling it with wisdomy wisdom this week. It's that dreaded time of year again, folks. Got to get your 1040s and your W-2s and your other forms that have numbers and letters and file your taxes if you are an American listener of ours. And I want to share a website that I use to help me do my taxes. It's called FreeTaxUSA.com. I like it better than TurboTax. I like it better than H&R Block because those websites charge you for things like remembering your name and address from last year. And like this Free Tax USA carries over all of the stuff from your previous W-2s. So after the first year you use it, it saves a lot of time. And you don't have to pay for it. I think it's the most affordable of all of the tax softwares that do the same exact thing. I know this is not the most thrilling handle in the world, but we all got to do taxes. So FreeTaxUSA.com. And don't forget to Google for coupon code. I'd give you ours if we had one, but we're not that big in the tax software world yet.
Not yet. That's the next market.
But yeah, you can always find a coupon for like 12-15% off. And it's like, I don't know, ends up being like $12 to file for the state and free for federal. So it's not bad.
That is pretty cheap.
This is not going to be my handle, but instead of using Free Tax USA, I use this website called Tax Act, which is basically the same idea. It's also cheaper than TurboTax and H&R Block and all those other websites.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I think once you like have one you like, it's like I was saying, it's easy to stick with the same one because it has all of your stuff from last year. But ditch those big guys. Stick with the cheaper ones.
Yeah, and it's also been proven by lawsuits that TurboTax and H&R Block hide the free way of filing on their website and force people to pay because people don't click the right button to get to the free stuff. So they're purposely deceiving users.
Those guys suck.
Yep. Also, I think we should start adopting the European Union's way of doing it, where they just send you what your tax refund is, and they say, hey, we have all this information, here's your return. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I unfortunately don't think we can change the world. Maybe we can. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
we deal with a thing called lobbyists in this country.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to hand the Frosty Mug of Wisdom over to Todd, who's got something fun and exciting for us.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave this up to you.
Okay. Here we go.
Behind door number 1 is a handle that's a video game.
Okay.
Behind door number 2 is a beer-related handle. And behind door number 3 is a workout-related handle.
Those all sound really interesting. But I'm going to pick door number 2.
The beer-related handle.
We are a beer podcast.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
So, my handle this week are what's called beer savers.
Ooh.
So they are like silicone beer caps that you can stick on top of an open bottle of beer that basically reapplies the cover or the cap back to the beer. So this is good for if you're doing like French pressing like we've tried in an episode in the past where you had to leave part of the beer in the bottle and you were just hoping that it didn't lose its carbonation while the rest of the beer was French pressing. So what you would do is you just put this silicone cap over the top and just press it down. It looks like an actual bottle cap, but it's made out of a harder silicone. It also works if you have too small of a cup and too big of a beer, and you'd like to keep that beer with some carbonation in it while you're waiting to drink down the beer that's in your glass. You just throw one of these bad boys on it, and they're dishwasher safe, and they keep your beer nice and carbonated.
So what made you go out and buy this product?
I was looking for a way to do French pressing better, just because you don't always have two of the same beer to recarb your beer, and you kind of get stuck with a flat beer every now and then.
So how long ago did you buy it?
I bought it probably about 2 or 3 months ago, so I've used them probably about a handful of times.
And what are the results? So does it really work?
They really do work. I mean, they really do seal that bottle off and keeps the carbonation in there. I mean, obviously you're adding a lot of air in there when you're popping the bottle anyways, but it tends to keep more carbonation in it than if you didn't have it and you were just leaving.
It's kind of like a growler. I mean,
yeah.
When you go to open a growler and you keep opening and closing it, right?
Correct.
That is actually pretty neat. I know for like the dainty people like you who can't finish a bottle of beer in one sitting,
Yes, that's like me. And then you can.
Yeah.
I don't recommend using it.
Notorious beer drinker who doesn't drink a lot of beer.
Correct.
There's one thing you know about him.
He likes little amounts of beer.
Yeah. Only the time. Only like 1 ounce at a time.
Yeah.
Little by little.
I don't recommend drinking half a bottle, sealing it, and putting it back in the fridge for days. I haven't attempted to try that experiment yet, but I don't think that would work. But, if you decide to buy them, try it and let me know. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them off of any website. They're pretty cool.
A solid handle. And, of course, we always have put links in our show notes to all these things. So
correct.
Check it out.
And so with that, let's go over to Chris and have him finish filling the frosty mug of wisdom.
So my handle this week is something that is probably going to get voted into worst handle of 2021.
Okay.
Oh boy, are we shiny hunting again?
Starting season 2 strong.
No, so something released the other day.
Is it worse than canned air?
I personally
the stuff that you breathe for free.
just faster.
Yeah.
No. So this is something that released the other day for Nintendo Switch, and it's called Pokemon Home. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I
video gaming world.
Heard you mention it, but I don't know anything about it.
So what it is, it's an online service that can connect to your Pokemon games, and you can actually store Pokemon in Pokemon Home. So it's like additional storage for your game, which is cool. I mean, you can store up to 6,000 Pokemon in there. So that's quite a few Pokemon.
Why do you need this?
Because you run out of room in your normal game. So, and you can also transfer Pokemon from older games into the newer games using Pokemon Home. So,
how many can you fit in your normal game without Home?
You can fit 960 Pokemon without Pokemon Home. So you can add an additional 6,000 with Pokemon Home.
So now,
this is perfect for the customer, the Pokemon enthusiast who already has like 950 Pokemon that they really don't want to get rid of.
Right. Yes. Or if
Gotcha.
you're a breeder, if you breed for shinies using the Masuda method, which was a notorious great handle from last year,
and releasing them is just too much work.
Actually, releasing them is a pain in the ass, but the cool thing about Pokemon Home that has not been done before is there's actually an app for it on your phone that you can use to trade with other people. You can do Wonder Trades and GTS straight from your phone using whatever Pokemon you have inside Pokemon Home. So,
and now you can pet your virtual Pokemon on the go.
You can play Pokemon on the go, sort of. So if like me and Obert were like, oh man, what do you got? Oh, you want a Bulbasaur? I have 5,000 of them. I could trade him. We could link up and trade in Pokemon Home.
So now, does this allow you? Because I know there was a big controversy when this Pokemon game first came out that not all the Pokemon are in this game. Can you now get Pokemon in that game that didn't exist before because you can transfer them into Home and then you can transfer them into the actual game?
Yes, but not all of them. So, I mean, as of right now, there's like, I think 35 additional Pokemon you can get. Like Mewtwo and a few other legendaries, some of the other starters. Like you can get like Bulbasaur and Squirtle now, where you couldn't before. They are releasing more down the line, which I'm sure will be a handle when they come out.
Chris with the Pokemon handle. What?
Yeah, Chris, I know. Chris, I think you have an obsession.
Listen, I've sank a lot of time into this, and if you watch my awesome streaming at Beardad Gamer on Twitch, you would have seen my shiny Rowlet yesterday, and it was awesome. But no, it's really cool. I know the Pokemon community has really wanted this for a long time. It's got some neat features to it, and yeah, I don't know. It's made my life a little easier being able to store 6,000 Pokemon.
And how much money does it cost?
So you can use it. You can use like a dumbed down free version.
$200 a month,
and then I think for a whole year of service, it's like $15 or something like that. So it's not.
The dumbed down version only lets you get 1,000 extra Pokemon?
No, it's only like it's a 30 extra Pokemon. So
yeah. Why bother?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So there's some other functionality you don't get with the free version too. But yeah. So Pokemon Home, if you play Pokemon, you probably already have it. But if you don't have it and you play Pokemon, check it out.
Cool. Hopefully that helps some people. That's what we're all about here with the handles.
And so with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. We're going to first thank the breweries that provided today's beers. I will go first with thanking Oddside Brewing Company for their Bean Flicker Coffee Blonde Ale. Also a special shout out thanks to @TheBrewLocker, Jenna, for sending this to me.
I would like to thank Great Lakes Brewing Company for their Blackout Stout.
And I, of course, want to thank Phillipsburg Brewing Company for their 5 Phantoms pumpkin spice barley wine.
make sure you're heading over and following us on all social media platforms. That way you can see pictures of all the cool beers that we post and any new cool things that we're just trying to share with our Instagram followers, Facebook, or Twitter followers. Also, make sure you hashtag follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Obviously, a big majority of today's episode was catching up on notes and news and stuff that you guys sent over there, so keep on sending that over there. Make sure you're sending over, what you guys had for breakfast every day of the week.
I always read those emails.
Yeah, he loves to read those. Make sure you're heading over to iTunes and leaving us a 5-star rating, and also leaving a comment. It helps a lot for people to find us. Also, make sure when you see our post on Facebook that you click the little share button down at the bottom. That way more people can help find us. The beer community is a very tight-knit community, so I'm sure that if you're part of this community and you're listening, you probably have other friends who are also into this hobby with you, and why wouldn't you want to share with your friends one of the greatest podcasts on the face of the planet? And so with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
I can't wait to go flick my bean.
Whoa. What is this podcast rated anyway?
This is a kids podcast.
Yeah, this is a kids beer drinking podcast, Todd.